Mr. Wagner, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges, sir?
Yes, I understand.
All right. The docket before you, Your Honor, is 2019-846DS in the matter of Ms. Kelly Bridges versus Mr. Derek Wagner, with Mr. Wagner being the payer. This is an adjourned enforcement hearing. I was adjourned to allow him to be represented by court-appointed attorney as requested. It was originally, prior to that adjournment, a bench warrant hearing for his failure to appear at a referee hearing on June 13th of 2022. The order being enforced today is the modified uniform child support order dated January 13th of 2020, which states that his current child support is $109. After servicing and processing fees, brings it to $112.50. His last payment was $148.28 on September 3rd of 2021 via unemployment. He has been show cause 3 times with 1 bench warrant and 1 finding of contempt. The previous 6 months at $112.50, he should have paid $675, and he has paid none.
Welcome back to the courtroom, folks. Today's case is pure chaos, a civil contempt hearing that turns into a verbal brawl. On one side, we have Ms. Kelly Bridges, a frustrated mother who's had enough of her ex's unpaid child support. On the other, Mr. Derek Wagner, a man with a long history of skipping payments and dodging hearings. The tension's sky high before the judge even takes his seat. But what starts as a routine contempt hearing quickly spirals into a meltdown of epic proportions, complete with shouting, cursing, and an unforgettable moment that leaves the judge with no choice but to drop the gavel.
February 28th of 2023, his total arrearages are $4,747.94. There have been no previous jail sentences with that previous contempt hearing. Mr. Wagner was booked in on March 3rd in the Calhoun County Jail on separate charges. When he was booked in on our warrant, he was in jail from February 16th to February 23rd.
Okay, do you have any questions for Ms. Wills?
Yes. Ms. Wills, has he been in jail since February 16th?
No, so he was in jail February 16th to February 23rd. He bonded out on the 23rd, and then he was booked back into jail on March 3rd. And he's been there since March 3rd on separate charges that are not FOC related.
And does he qualify for the LEAP program?
Nope.
No, so with Mr. Wagner, let me make sure that we have his correct address on file. The previous address, he does qualify for LEAP. However, due to, us not being able to get in contact with him and having the bench warrant for so long, he did not qualify. He does now, as long as he doesn't have any other warrants in the state of Michigan.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay. Any proofs, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, I'd call Mr. Wagner.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Wagner, can you hear me?
Yes.
You heard the testimony of Ms. Wills, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there anything that you disagreed with?
No, sir.
Okay. So you were booked in, looks like February 16th, and then you bonded out on February 23rd by posting a $100 bond. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you willing to put that bond amount towards your child support arrearages?
Absolutely.
He needs to pay more than $100.
Now this is where things start heating up. The enforcement officer is calmly laying out the facts, payment history, arrears, and dates. But notice how Karen can't keep her cool, throwing jabs like he's a bum, right in the middle of official testimony. That's courtroom mistake number 1, talking out of turn. Judges and enforcement officers deal with these cases all the time, and nothing irritates them faster than emotional outbursts before the facts are even fully presented.
Okay, hold on a second. Ms. Bridges, we're taking testimony from Mr. Wagner, not from you at this time. You'll have an opportunity to speak after that, so please don't interrupt.
Okay. All right. Ms. Wills testified that you're being held on other criminal charges in the jail. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a hearing date or a release date for those other charges?
I have a release date on the 8th. Of
On April 8th,
Yes, sir.
you're expected to be released.
Yes.
Okay. Prior to February 16th of 2023, were you employed?
No.
Lie.
Hold on a
Okay.
second. Just hold on. Ms. Bridges, was I unclear about not speaking or interrupting? Ma'am?
So what? Y'all can shake a piece of shit motherfucking hand and say
Hey,
congratulations.
ma'am, if you go off like that, you can be held in contempt of court and go to jail. Do you want to do that?
Just proceed through the fucking court hearing and shut up.
One more outburst or one more vulgarity and you will be going to jail. You understand?
Good luck.
What, ma'am?
I said good luck. Finish court.
Here's where the courtroom tension snaps again. The judge's patience is already thin, and Ms. Bridges just can't resist jumping in while the defendant is being questioned. The judge reminds her, politely at first, to wait her turn. But this moment highlights something deeper. Courtroom decorum isn't optional. When you interrupt proceedings, especially during testimony, you're not just being rude, you're disrespecting the entire process.
Bridges, you can ask Mr. Wagner any questions pertaining to the issue before the court, which is his non-payment of child support. Do you have any questions?
I already know why his non-payment of child support is. Why he's had a job the whole time working for Larson's Construction, making $26 an hour underneath the table for months now.
Okay,
Instead,
ma'am,
maybe-
this is your time to ask him. This is your time to ask him questions, not for you to give a statement at this point. So if you have any questions for him, ask those.
okay, Derek, seeing you had money to buy alcohol, why were you not paying your child support?
I was terminated because you had contacted FOC before I had a chance to be placed on payroll, so I was terminated.
That's not my fault. You know you're supposed to pay child support. Pay your shit. Be a man.
And there it is, the moment that seals her fate. Ms. Bridges completely loses control, launching into profanity directly at the judge. Let's be clear. In legal terms, that's direct contempt of court, and it's punishable by jail time instantly. What's fascinating is how calm Judge Kirkman stays. He doesn't yell. He doesn't match her energy. He simply warns her, one more outburst and she's going to jail.
Court will make the following finding this matter. In this case, Mr. Wagner has a minimal support obligation of $148.50 per month, including his arrearage repayment in this matter. That, in fact, over the last year, he has, as he stated, he's worked approximately 2.5 months during that time, making $200 per week. On each of those weeks that he acknowledges that he simply failed to pay, and there's no excuse for not doing so. In addition to that, he did have odd jobs. He stated that he has been hindered somewhat because he has not had an ID or a birth certificate, etc., to acquire employment, but he has not stated any effort he's made to acquire that. Likewise with the GED, other than that he's had no money to do that. The court will find that he has had the present and the ability to pay, that he's failed or refused to pay, and therefore he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackrader?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. My client testified that he will be on probation upon his release and his other criminal matters. And
Now, this is courtroom irony at its finest. The judge gives Ms. Bridges one last chance to ask proper questions, and instead she turns it into another rant. At this point, you can feel everyone else in the Zoom call holding their breath. The judge's patience is legendary, but he's being tested like never before. Notice how her emotional outbursts completely overshadow her valid points. She might actually be right about Wagner's under-the-table job, but her delivery ruins her credibility.
for employment to satisfy this obligation, we would ask that any jail sentence be 31 days or less with credit for 7 days already served in this matter. And we would request a purge amount in the amount of $400. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Well, in this matter, Mr. Wagner, I could sentence you up to 45 days. I'm not going to do that only because it is your first time that you would have any jail time, even though you did have a prior contempt. There was no jail time at that point. What I'm going to do is I am going to sentence you to 21 days in jail with credit for 7 days served. And I'm going to put a purge amount in place of the amount of $500. If you're able to pay the purge amount, then you would not have to serve the balance of your jail sentence. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Court will end this matter at 11 a.m. You're free to go. Have a good day.
That's bullshit. You guys shake his hand and tell him congratulations.
Ma'am, the case is done. We don't need to hear anything else.
This part is just unbelievable, smoking on a Zoom hearing with the judge present. It's another example of people forgetting that a virtual courtroom is still a courtroom. The same decorum applies. These moments go viral because they show a fascinating clash, the formal structure of the legal system meeting the casual chaos of real life. Judges don't just represent authority, they represent the order that keeps society functioning. And the moment you disregard that, you're not making a point, you're making a fool of yourself.
Court is going to hold Ms. Bridges in contempt of court based upon the last outburst and the last vulgarity. Ms. Wills, do you have Ms. Bridges' phone number? Can you contact her and get her back?
Yes. Let me just go ahead. If you allow me, would you like me to go off record while I call her right now to get her back on the Zoom?
No, go ahead. We'll just hold on and put her on.
Okay. Hi, Ms. Bridges. This is your enforcement officer. Judge Kirkham was wondering if you could please log back on to Zoom to speak with him. If you could please log back on, Judge was requesting that. Okay, just log right back onto the Zoom room and they'll let you in. She hung up on me. So I'm unsure if she will log back in or not.
Let me see. This may be her.
Okay. Yes.
And there it is, the final straw. After multiple warnings, endless interruptions, and a barrage of profanity, the judge finally lowers the gavel. Ms. Bridges is officially held in contempt and sentenced to 3 days in jail. This is poetic justice at its most direct. She went from demanding accountability to becoming the one held accountable. The irony? All she had to do was stay quiet and let the process work. But instead, her emotions took the wheel.
Bridges, I had warned you multiple times about your outbursts and the vulgarity, and apparently that did not have any impact. What the court is going to do based upon the last outburst, ma'am, the court, is she muted? Are you muted, ma'am? You can unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
You don't want to listen to anything I say. You just want to shake this motherfucker's hand and tell him congratulations. Let's be
Ma'am, the court is holding you in contempt of court. I'm sentencing you to 3 days. 3 days in jail, ma'am. You will be sentenced to 3 days in jail. You will have to appear on, we'll have her appear on March 17, 2023. No later than 4:00 p.m. to serve her 3 days in jail.
What a ride. From unpaid child support to outright defiance, this case shows how courtroom behavior can change your entire outcome. Judge Kirkman showed restraint, professionalism, and ultimately firmness when it mattered most. Meanwhile, Ms. Bridges learned the hard way that contempt of court isn't just a warning, it's a consequence. That if you found this courtroom meltdown as wild as we did, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts on who was really in the wrong here, and make sure you subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.